Hi, my name is Ericsson Aguilar, and I want to share something with you in this opportunity. For so many years, I identify myself as a homosexual man. I lived my life as a gay man since I was 18 years old. I was confused with my identity due to different circumstances when I was a little kid. My parents were not aware of it. When I got to be 18 years old, I had a couple of friends who were out of the closet, as we say normally, and they seemed to live a very fun life, and I was attracted to that fun life. And I felt that if I came out of the closet to my parents, I was going to find that happiness that I so longed for. I felt that something was missing in my life, and I felt that if I came out of the closet, I could be happy, I could be made whole, that if I embrace my desires to be sexually engaged with other men, I was gonna feel whole. And I did. I came out of the closet. But then soon I realized that everything was not what it seemed. I started to encounter a lot of deceit, a lot of betrayal, a lot of infidelity, and it was not what it seemed. My friends, a lot of people that I knew suffer from depression. They always were so lonely. Their relationships rarely worked out. So many of my gay friends at the time rarely could make a relationship work, as it happens in the LGBT community. And one of the things that helped me was being able to speak to somebody that could see it from the outside. I had a relationship with men in the past. None of them worked, and I felt into depression. I tried to commit suicide when I was 17 years old. Then I tried to commit suicide when I was 25 years old. And it was just not working for me, and I thought that living life to the fullest, per se, living in nightclubs and hanging out with different people every weekend will make me happy, but it didn't. Even though I was surrounded by so many friends, many gay friends, even though I travel, I had a good job, I had everything that materialistic speaking I desired, it was not enough for me. I was not happy. I felt that something was missing in my life. And I found that something the day that I met this Christian girl. She invited me to church, and I refused so many times. I didn't want to go. But eventually I accepted, and I went. And I received Jesus in my heart, and it changed me. I left my homosexual lifestyle and started going through a transformation process. I wanted to change my life, as many of my former gay friends did. The things that people don't tell you is that a lot of the gay people don't believe in gay marriage. A lot of gay people don't believe in adopting children with another man or another woman. A lot of them don't want to be gay. But you don't hear that in the stories in the media. You don't hear that on the news, because it is more than just people's rights. And I find it hypocritical when LGBT advocates speak about equality, where the most discriminatory moments where I have been discriminated against the most has been in the LGBT community. A lot of friends have suffered from racial profiling from also other homosexual people. So I find that for the LGBT community to seek equality when inside their own groups doesn't exist, when they discriminate against each other, when they hurt each other, when all they look is the outside appearance of people, to the point that they send them into depression and even suicide, I find it very hypocritical of every advocate for the LGBT community to only paint a beautiful picture of what it is to be homosexual. Many of you do not represent the homosexual community. You are only moved by personal agendas or whatever resentment you may have against a specific group. I say that now here in the state of Massachusetts, we are dealing with a counseling ban, and it's taking advantage of the most vulnerable people, our children, your children. For a parent not to be able to get counseling for their children when they're going to an identity confusion, when they are finding themselves that they might want to be a boy, wants to be a girl, or a girl that wants to transition to be a boy. And for a parent not to be able to say, let's talk about this with a professional. And that is exactly what this counseling ban is trying to do. And then I thought to myself, is it really about rights? Is it really about the children? And it came to my mind, and I realized that it is beyond that. It is about the billions and millions of dollars that the pharmaceutical companies will benefit. Based on a report released by the Center for Disease Control in 2017, 66% of the people infected with HIV in the United States are gay and bisexual men. 66%. That is more than half. And all of these people have to be on medication in order to live a normal life, per se. And the only ones that benefit from this are the big pharmaceutical corporations. Of course, it is beneficial for them to work on the very young, to create more medical conditions, to have a boy mutate their genitals because there is no reversal surgery for it. You know, a surgical procedure like that goes from $15,000 to $50,000 per person, not to count the thousands of dollars on medications that they will have to take for the rest of their lives. So this is beyond what we can perceive. This is not about just the rights of somebody. This is about millions of dollars that these corporations will benefit to have all these children. Now I tell you, people say that you are born gay, that you cannot change. Well, I can tell you that is not true, because based on scientific studies by lead scientists, some of them homosexual themselves, identify as homosexuals, say that there is no evidence, genetic or biological evidence, that people are born gay. There is no logical explanation. And that's the part now advocates don't speak about. There is no gay gene, as so many people claim. And people say you cannot change from homosexuality. Of course you can. Just like somebody can change from drug addiction and make a decision to change their lives. If you decide you don't want to be gay, you can change your life. It is possible. Believe me, because I lived as a homosexual man for so many years, but then eventually I found the help that I needed. You know, my pastor, my religious friends, my spiritual friends have been such a great support for my life. They have walked with me in this walk of faith. And I tell you, change is possible. It might not be easy, but it is possible. Those leading authorities on gender confusion says about this, because, you know, what about boys and girls who display a strong cross-sex behavior and pre-adolescent life? Well, he writes the following: there are some children who, as they grow, will demonstrate a stronger cross-sex behavior. Some of these boys will be obsessed with mermaids, with girly things, will want to have long hair. It is important for parents and extended family to look not just at the child, but the family system itself through counseling. Such behavior is typically a curious indicator of deeper problems within the family. Dr. Kenneth Zucker, one of the leading authorities on gender confusion, calls it the dynamic family noise, which he explains as an unhealthy relationship between mother and father, parents and child, as well as sibling to sibling. He says allowing a boy to live as a girl might solve the immediate anxiety of such child, but it will ignore the larger problem driving such desire, and it fails to serve the child and the family. But what happens when you allow your underage kid to transition from boy to a girl? Now you're changing his entire identity, but not only that, now you will have to, or his insurance company will have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to the big pharmaceutical companies. It is not just about a counseling ban. It's about the millions of dollars that all these lobbyists are putting behind these movements in order to make the rich richer. A lot of homosexual people, a lot of advocates are just a pawn for what the big goal is in all of this. And I tell you, we all have to unite. We have to contact our authorities, and we cannot allow this counseling ban to go into effect and to take advantage of our children. I know this is not a subject that everybody speaks about. It's not something that many people are comfortable about. But I can tell you from experience, not everything is what it seems. And if we're going to talk about homosexual, if we're going to talk about counseling ban, also, let's give the world the real truth. Let's talk about the risk. Let's talk about all the high index of suicide, of HIV infected men and women of the LGBT community. Let's talk about the high rate of suicide that is happening right now. So I invite you, if you are struggling with identity, you can change your life. There is a better way, and you cannot allow this counseling ban to take advantage of your children.